Hi friends, Watch Mojo has 17 billion views and they made a video on the top 20 healthiest foods in the world. Well, I was wondering if I would eat them. I don't know. Let's watch and find out.
Dessert until you eat your broccoli.
Oh, fine.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 healthiest foods.
Salad.
It's a super simple, but very elegant and highly delicious salad.
For this list, we're looking at the foods with the most nutritional value and overall health benefits that we can all buy. What's your favorite healthy food? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, halibut.
Okay, halibut was not a salad. I don't quite agree with halibut. Let's see what they say.
Looking for a new skincare routine? You might want to spend less on expensive lotions and more on fish.
Well, I agree. Lotions are not the way for skin health. However, I'm not sure you need to eat fish to have good-looking skin. But we'll see.
Halibut, a popular whitefish, is an excellent source of selenium.
Well, it is a good source of selenium, but a better source of selenium is actually Brazil nut. So one Brazil nut has like 90 micrograms of selenium. So I eat one Brazil nut once a week, and I actually don't eat halibut.
A mineral with antioxidant properties that can help keep your skin looking great.
So that is very true. Halibut is actually not a good source of selenium compared to the Brazil nut, which is the highest source of selenium amongst all the foods in the world. So I believe something like 100 grams of halibut is maybe equal to 50 micrograms of selenium, whereas a one single selenium nut, 1 ounce, is already like 90 micrograms of selenium. So there's no comparison. You can get a much richer selenium source that's actually cheaper.
Research also indicates its power in the fight against inflammation and heart disease.
Yes, seafood, actually particularly fish, can be good for inflammation depending on the type of fish and depending on what else is in it.
Halibut is also rich in protein and vitamins, including B6, which is said to aid cognitive functions. Remember,
B6 is very, very important for neurological health.
they don't call fish brain food for no reason. With just a bit of seasoning, like salt, pepper, olive oil, and lemon juice.
Never really liked lemon juice on my fish, but the salt, I find seafood already salty, so it's not something that I think is necessary, but I know people like salt.
You can prepare a delicious halibut dinner that's both light and filling.
Before serving, sprinkle a little extra of those chopped chives on top for a pop of green, and then dig in.
Now, that actually looks really pretty, but I never actually liked that kind of fish. The type of fish that I always ate when I grew up was made out of garlic, ginger, and green onions. Those are my favorite type of fish. Now I don't eat fish because halibut is actually not even on the EPA's safe list for frequent fish to eat because it's full of mercury. And that's the problem with seafood. Even though it has beneficial properties like selenium, like omega-3 fatty acids, and that's why fish or seafood is linked to heart health, it's so heavily contaminated with pollutants because it swims basically in a giant toilet bowl. I mean, people have used our oceans to throw away their waste products. And these fish, they swim in it. And amazingly, halibut is kind of a strange fish. It's a flat fish. And I used to eat this all the time. My mom would buy halibut. It's actually very delicious. It's an excellent source of omega-3 fat. And you need omega-3 fats. There's actually 3 types of omega-3 fats. There's DHA, EPA, which you get from seafood, and ALA, which you get from plants. Now, your body can convert ALA into DHA and EPA if you don't have too much omega-6 fatty acids, right? So if you eat, let's say, flaxseed, edamame beans, walnuts, you're going to get plenty of ALA. But that ALA is beneficial if you can convert it to EPA and DHA. But if you eat too much omega-6 rich foods, for example, like vegetable oils, people say seed oils, as well as chicken and pork, then you actually inhibit your body's natural conversion of ALA to omega-3 fats. Anyway, that's like a side note, but I do admit seafood, if it wasn't so heavily polluted, would be something that I would eat. but I don't eat it because there's so much pollution. Once you get mercury in your system, it comes with so many different forms of toxicity. All I remember is that when I was in high school chemistry, I was so excited because I wanted to take that chemistry class. I had heard so much about it. But the first day was so disappointing because all we did was spend like the day on safety, right? So the teacher told us if we break a thermometer to call him right away and not to go buy it, because in those days, our thermometers were mercury thermometers. And so when you spill mercury, it's a liquid, right? Because it's so slippery, but it can aerosolize. So anyway, it's just very toxic depending on if you get toxic mercury from organic mercury, inorganic mercury, or elemental mercury. There's different symptoms associated with it. And most people in the US, if they get mercury poisoning, it's because they have overeaten seafood.
This halibut will be incredibly moist, light and flaky, and oh so delicious.
Number 19, beets.
Okay, that I agree with. Beets are actually very healthy.
You don't have to be Dwight Schrute to appreciate beets.
You know what? Nobody cares about your stupid beet farm. Beets are the worst.
People love beets.
Nobody likes beets.
Everyone loves beets.
Nobody likes beets, Dwight.
People love beets. Like people, literally, they sell beet juice, they sell beet roots. I love them in salads. They actually have beet powder. Athletes love beets. It helps with optimal performance. It actually enhances athletic performance and it reduces blood pressure. It's an excellent source of food. Now, don't confuse beet sugar with whole beets, right? So they actually can make table sugar out of beets because it's so sweet. And that's not a beet. That's an ingredient from a beet. It's kind of like, processing fructose from corn, right? It's not corn. It's fructose from corn. And those are different parameters when you dissect it. Okay. So just because it says beet sugar doesn't mean it's actually healthy, but whole beets are excellent.
Vegetables known for their purple complexion.
And I look for purple foods. That purple food is the anthocyanins, the polyphenols that reduce inflammation.
Are chock full of beneficial nutrients. Among the many vitamins and minerals contained in beets are potassium, magnesium, and vitamin C.
Those are all super important, super healthy.
More, there are under 60 calories in a cup of beets, so you can eat plenty without exceeding your daily caloric intake.
It's hard to gain weight when you're eating whole foods.
Like beets, I think it's just because you haven't had this recipe yet.
Beets also promote good digestion with their fiber content and may help with both mental and athletic ability.
Absolutely. I used to give my mom beets, and I recommend beets to many people.
There are many ways to enjoy beets, such as roasted for a salad, in juice form, or simply eaten raw. When it comes to nutritious vegetables, it's hard to beat beets. Number 18, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts have gotten a bad rap for far too long.
Oh my God, it's Brussels sprouts!
That's worse than no food.
The health benefits alone.
That's not true. Brussels sprouts are so healthy. Sprouts in general are super healthy, and it's a cruciferous vegetable. And I look for cruciferous vegetables because they have a special component called sulforaphanes. Actually, they have myrosinase, which is an enzyme that converts their glucoraphanin into sulforaphanes that help our bodies detoxify. So I look for cruciferous vegetables. It's a little chewy, right, if you don't thoroughly cook it, but it tastes delicious if you cook it well.
It's alone or enough reason to dine on these tiny relatives of cabbage. Among the nutrients Brussels sprouts provide are fiber, protein, and vitamins K, C, and A. They're also great for your immune system.
Yeah, exactly. If you can detoxify, that's helping your immune system.
And there's even research that suggests Brussels sprouts could help fight against cancer by warding off carcinogens.
That is true.
Still skeptical about adding Brussels sprouts to your next dinner?
Crispy, crunchy, salty on the outside.
That's actually not a beneficial Brussels sprout dish. I mean, they literally just said a couple lines ago about it fighting carcinogens. Now, by burning your food, you're making carcinogens, right? So like it's contradicting what it's trying to do. Okay, so this food is not something that I would recommend because they burned the food, right? They cooked it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit by their little, image that they put in earlier, and they made it brown. When you make food brown, you're actually making carcinogens, right? So if you want this to be anti-carcinogenic, you can't charcoal your food.
On the outside, these are sure to turn anybody into a Brussels sprout lava.
Try roasting them in olive oil and adding them to a healthy pasta dish. You may be amazed by just how much you love them. Number 17, lean beef.
No. This is so wrong for so many reasons. Number one, he's dangling the beef over the kitchen, right? So even though he doesn't see it, but all these germs are spilling everywhere. And beef is one of the dirtiest foods. I mean, just animal meat in general, right? So that now you're dangling E. coli, salmonella, probably some Klebsiella, some Campylobacter. There's so many different germs on animals. And so you don't want to dangle any kind of raw meat in your kitchen, right? It's just not good.
If you're trying to eat healthy, you don't want to load up on fast food hamburgers.
Give me 700 crusty burgers!
You want fries with that?
You did it, Dad. You saved us. I'm proud you're my father.
Go away, eating.
However,
Hamburgers are not good.
are other ways to enjoy beef without sacrificing nutritional value. Choose lean cuts of beef with minimal amounts of fat and cholesterol.
That's true. If you have to eat beef, then I would say lean cuts of beef, because most people worry about fats and cholesterol. Well, in the fat also are toxins that the animal collects, right? So the environmental pollutants, pesticides, dioxins. So you really don't want to eat the fat, not just because it has cholesterol and saturated fat, but really because it collects toxins.
Consult with your butcher for the best beef for your diet, and remove any excess fat on the meat. With this extra fat gone, you don't have to worry about cholesterol and saturated fat content.
That's not true, because animals now are fatter than before. If you look at the beef, there's white lines. Those white lines are fat, right? So that when you eat animal meat, cell membranes are all made out of fat. You will eat fat in the animals. Chicken breast is 20% saturated fat. So it's not true that just because you cut off the extra fat and that you don't have to worry about saturated fat and cholesterol. That's not true, because you're still eating quite a bit, even though it says it's lean meat, right?
This is a great dish. It's fast, feeds a lot of people very inexpensively. And if you look, it's cooked to perfection.
Okay, yeah, no, that is not cooked at all. That meat is pink. Yeah, I wouldn't eat that. That's food poisoning grade in my book. I wouldn't eat any meat that wasn't thoroughly cooked. No pink for me.
Instead, you can enjoy nutritional benefits like iron, niacin, and of course, protein.
Well, the interesting thing about iron is that I believe something like 1 in 200 people of Northern European descent actually has a condition called hemochromatosis, in which they're super iron absorbers. And the problem with that is that iron accumulates in their body, and they get liver damage. It can accumulate in other tissues. So there are genetic testing to figure that out. But 1 in 200 American people of Northern European descent actually have this condition. So to eat iron-rich foods would not be ideal, right? And women get diagnosed later because they have menstrual periods. But if you are of Northern European descent, you may want to talk to your doctor about getting that genetic testing and make sure you're not a super iron absorber.
Where's the beef? Hopefully in your fridge. Number 16, bell peppers. Not everyone can handle the spice content of jalapenos or habaneros, but bell peppers can be enjoyed without pain. They're also incredibly good for you. Available in a variety of colors, such as red, yellow, orange, and green.
I would pick the red ones. I like the richest, darkest, reddest tinge colors of foods.
These sweet peppers add crunch, pleasing visuals, and nutritional value to all kinds of meals. Among their biggest pluses is their vitamin C content, with a red bell pepper containing triple the amount of an orange.
That's true. One red bell pepper has more vitamin C than one orange, actually equal to 3 oranges. Oranges are more sour in a sense because of its citric acid content, not ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid. So they actually purified vitamin C from paprika, which is a pepper.
They're also teeming with potassium and numerous other vitamins. They also contain antioxidants known as carotenoids,
Oh, those are excellent for your gut health and for your skin.
which are suggested to promote good eye health. Stuff some bell peppers with lean ground beef, and you'll have a
That is a toxic, inflammatory pepper. Like, I would not eat that. That is full of saturated fat. I mean, you just cut the fat off the meat and then you added it in with all that cheese, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to cut saturated fat, then why are you like eating something else with saturated fat? That doesn't make any sense to me.
surefire healthy dinner time hit.
That's not healthy.
Try them out. I recommend this. You will thank me. You will come back to this video for sure. It's delicious.
Number 15, kale.
Kale, and that kind of kale, that dinosaur kale, the one that's not curly, the one on this one on the left is the one that I would eat.
Remember a few years ago when it seemed like kale was everywhere? Well, that's one food trend worth keeping. This leafy vegetable, a cousin of cabbage, is regarded as a superfood due to its great nutritional content.
It's bright, it's fresh. You get the fruity flavor from that olive oil, and then the garlic, salt, and lemon just give it the perfect kick.
With 1 cup of kale, you get a great serving of potassium, magnesium, vitamins A, B6, C, and K, and more. Kale also has plenty of antioxidants and may protect against cancer.
Oh yeah, kale. If I was a smoker, I would eat kale every day. I don't smoke and I eat kale every day.
Commonly associated with being green, there's also a purple variety that can add a great pop to any plate. Make a kale salad, cook it on the stove with...
So I don't know what they're putting in that shake, but they just added a bunch of sugar, some syrupy things. So yeah, like why would you do that, right? You could make it sweet with fruit, but they decided to add some syrup of some sort. And the cream, I'm not sure what the cream is. Anything creamy like that, I'm always suspicious.
lemon and garlic, or just throw some in your morning smoothie. We will always hail the power of kale.
I do a morning smoothie too, except that I don't put that white cream, nor do I put any sugar. All I put is blueberries, soy milk, or any other plant-based milk, and dinosaur kale, and I think, and some amla, Indian gooseberries. And I grind that up and then I drink it. That's how I eat my kale.
Number 14, almonds.
Oh, almonds. Now that's really good for skin.
Fun fact, almonds aren't actually nuts. They're seeds.
Well, fun fact, all nuts are seeds, right? They're all seeds.
Another fun fact, they're one of the healthiest snacks available.
Easy to grab a handful for a quick snack, and they're great to take with you since they don't require any refrigeration.
Almonds can help you feel better on the inside and outside. Their high vitamin E content is suggested to help fight cancer and heart disease, and their antioxidants can help reduce visible aging, provided you leave the skin on.
Which that's not doing, right? That's like making almond milk. And so it's removing a lot of the fiber and the other nutrients.
Or bad cholesterol levels in check by eating almonds. Their versatility is another huge positive. Almonds can be enjoyed in a salad, with cereal in almond milk, or just as a midday snack. They might not be nuts, but we go nuts for them. Number 13, apples.
Apples are really good.
Regardless of how often you eat apples, you should still see a doctor whenever necessary.
There'll be plenty of apples for you. Nobody will take away your precious apples.
However, these sweet and crisp...
No, that is not a healthy food to eat. Apple pie is not apple. That's like processed food.
Fruits can still do wonders for your overall health. They're full of soluble fiber, which can aid with digestion and help to keep cholesterol down.
Not if you're going to eat apple pie, but it still has soluble fiber, but you've just now probably added sugar and a bunch of saturated fat and refined carbohydrates to make that pie dough.
They also contain quercetin, a powerful antioxidant that may help to prevent type 2 diabetes and protect against asthma.
I love quercetin. It is one of my favorite nutrients to eat.
So many different kinds of apples available. How do you know which one to get?
As you can see here, they're soft, but they haven't broken down. They're not mushy.
Any apple is a good one. But among the healthiest are Fuji, Red Delicious, Honeycrisp, and Granny Smith. How do we like them apples? A lot.
When it comes to fruit, the healthiest fruit usually is we're talking about sweet foods, is consumed in the raw form. And once you start processing it and you add sugar or you add fat like butter or coconut oil or whatever oil, now you have turned that into a less healthy food to eat. And I would eat the apple, but I would not eat that apple pie. That is not the same food.
Number 12, blueberries.
Okay, blueberries, so far they've actually said lots of things that I would eat, and I should rank them higher. So I would be really interested to see what they're going to rank as 1 to 11, because some of what they're saying I would rank in the top 10. And blueberries are something that I eat every single day, and I feed berries to my family because of those anthocyanins. So let's listen on.
If you look at blueberries close up, you'll see they aren't actually blue. Rather, they're a dark shade of purple.
What is happening? Whoa! Is that a blueberry?
This is due to their anthocyanin content, a pigment with antioxidant and cancer and virus-fighting properties. And that's not all when it comes to blueberries. They are also a heart-smart sweet treat that helps to keep blood pressure and cholesterol down.
And they help to keep blood sugar down.
Research also shows its potential in aiding cognitive stability.
You could see improvements in multitasking, flexible thinking, and remembering information after a period of time.
You can eat blueberries in salads, oatmeal, smoothies, or just as a snack from the palm of your hand. It's hard to feel blue when you're enjoying blueberries.
And I would add that research has also shown that it helps with muscle fatigue. It actually decreases muscle inflammation, and it also improves your gut microbiome. So there are so many healthy reasons to eat blueberries. I think we could go on and on.
Number 11, chicken breast.
Okay, that I disagree. I don't even really know how they're going to eat this chicken breast, but I do not agree that chicken breast is a healthy food.
Fried chicken is delicious, but it's not something you should eat all the time. Fortunately, there are other healthier ways to enjoy the great taste of chicken.
The seasoning mix on the outside of this chicken is loaded with flavor, and when you slice into it, it's so incredibly tender and moist. Just look at all of those juices glistening in the light.
One of the best cuts is chicken breast, which is packed with protein and fairly low in calories and fat. If you're trying to build muscle, this protein can really help you with developing strength. You can also enjoy minerals like niacin and selenium, as well as vitamin B6. How you prepare the chicken breast is also important. We recommend baking it with a little olive oil, various herbs and spices, and some veggies to accompany it, such as a spinach salad.
You can see that it's juicy, it's perfectly cooked, white all the way through, just how everyone likes it.
You won't be crying foul when you make chicken breast right.
Yeah, so people who actually bring chicken home have higher rates of drug-resistant urinary tract infections. So I'll just leave it at that. But chicken is not a health food.
Number 10, ginger.
And I've also made another video all about chicken.
Something to season your chicken breast with? Try ginger.
Ginger is very good. I grew up on ginger. My parents always gave me ginger whenever I didn't feel well. I thought it was like a tub. It was probably just a regular mug of ginger water, ginger tea, but super concentrated, really hard for a little kid to drink. But I drank it and he sent me to school. So I've had perfect attendance from kindergarten till 12th grade, because every time I had the sniffles or a cold, my dad would just feed me ginger and send me to school.
Ginger is an energy boosting ally. Great for digestion, great for circulation, great for just warming up the body, getting it going.
Not only can ginger add a great zing to dishes both sweet and savory, it's also very good for you. Osteoarthritis patients saw their pain go down after using ginger, and those with type 2 diabetes saw their blood sugar reduced. Plus, if you're dealing with an illness such as a cold or a sore throat, it can provide relief. There are even signs of ginger helping with nausea experienced during pregnancy, as well as chemotherapy. Although ginger has a strong flavor,
I take ginger whenever I go on a plane, whenever I sit in a train, any kind of transportation, because I get motion sickness. I take ginger capsules and it helps me tremendously. Whereas before I would have to take drugs and then they would knock me out, put me to sleep. Ginger doesn't do that. It's one of my favorite things to take on the road.
You can reduce the intensity by cooking it.
I love ginger because it's got so much flavor. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit floral, and there's so many different ways you can add it to all of your baked goods.
Grind up some ginger and add it to your next healthy meal.
You can eat it as a tea. You can put it in your baked goods. You can stir fry with it. If you eat meat, put it with your meat. If you eat vegetables, put it with your vegetables. You can put it in your soup. It's so versatile. It is a strong flavor, but you can get the powder for people who have headaches. Ginger actually can help with headaches. Ginger can actually help with menstrual cramps. So there's so many things that ginger can help do. And you don't necessarily have to eat the raw form, although I love to eat that. But you can eat it cooked or you can eat the powdered ginger. That's also very effective as well.
Number 9, spinach. It might not give you Popeye's strength, but spinach can still do a lot for you.
All right, eat your spinach.
No way.
Yes, wait.
With plenty of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, there's so much to appreciate about this leafy green vegetable. Its benefits can be felt in everyday life, with reduced inflammation and improved vision among the reported perks of eating more spinach. It can even help you to recover faster from injuries. It's easy to incorporate spinach into your diet.
That looks perfect. You see how much spinach it took for us to get that little amount, but I tell you, it is definitely worth it.
Saute it in olive oil and lemon juice and serve it as a side. Substitute it for lettuce on your sandwiches.
I would say if you're going to serve it as a side, then you should have other sides, right? So because most of the plate should be green.
Or mix it with some pasta. You can be seeing green in the best way possible. Number 8, sweet potatoes.
I love sweet potatoes. I would actually go for purple sweet potatoes, which are actually yams, but sweet potatoes are an excellent source of vitamin A.
We don't mean to knock white potatoes, which are affordable and can be prepared in a variety of ways. But sweet potatoes are also low cost and versatile, as well as a lot healthier.
Sweet potatoes also come in many varieties, so you'll frequently see an entire rainbow of colors in your supermarket or farmer's market.
Rich in fiber, these colorful vegetables help with digestion as well as overall gut health.
I wouldn't shave the skin off. I mean, the skin has a ton of nutrients.
Wonder why sweet potatoes are so orange? It's due to beta-carotene, an antioxidant that your body turns into vitamin A, which reportedly helps with vision and immune system functioning.
Vitamin A is super helpful with the immune system. Literally, when people get measles, like little kids get measles and they had severe measles, we actually give them vitamin A infusions. And vitamin A is also a therapy for like acne.
Make a sweet potato for dinner, make a hash for breakfast, or use them in a bright salad for lunch.
Roasting sweet potatoes is my favorite way to prepare them, and putting them in a salad is genius.
And with these sweets, you don't have to worry about cavities. Number 7, mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms are excellent, but it depends on the mushroom because some of these mushrooms actually have toxins. So you can't eat them raw. Not all of them, but many of these mushrooms, like the white button mushrooms, you can't eat that raw. So it really depends on the mushroom.
We're not talking about those kinds of mushrooms. These edible fungi are packed with protein and other essential nutrients.
We have got a very mushroomy situation. I'm talking, this is mushroom lovers pasta, you guys.
Mushrooms provide a great dose of potassium, fiber, magnesium, and selenium. They can also help keep your immune system strong. In fact, there's a group known as medicinal mushrooms that are used for disease treatment and overall wellness. This includes ones like shiitake, turkey tail, and reishi mushrooms.
This is one of my favorite mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, but you do have to cook it. That one does have a toxin. It can give you a rash, and the rash can present like 2 weeks later. So that definitely cook your mushrooms whenever you're in question.
You don't need to order a pizza to enjoy mushrooms either.
This little combination right here is, look how gorgeous they are. Can you imagine these mushrooms on top of a burger?
Oh, I want that right now.
Yeah, if you put it on top of a burger, it won't be as healthy, right? That should go on top like a salad.
They're great in pasta, salads, or even as a healthy substitute for a patty in a burger. Be like Mario and embrace the power of mushrooms. Number 6, beans.
Oh, okay, yes. I absolutely agree. I would actually put beans as number 1.
There are multiple varieties of beans available at your local grocery store, and they all have remarkable health benefits.
May I have some more lima beans, please? Certainly. More than that? Certainly. More?
They're a great source of protein thanks to their amino acid content. Beans also have potential cardiovascular and cholesterol-lowering benefits. They're also hearty and filling without being too heavy.
And they also help reduce blood sugars, even in the meal afterwards. It's called the second meal effect.
Bring together the power of multiple beans by making a tasty meatless chili.
I would eat that. If they didn't put anything else, I would eat that. That actually looks good.
Or try a modern take on a 3-bean salad. Planning a party and want to make some healthy refreshments? Remember that hummus is another type of bean dip. Try some beans for your well-being. Number 5, oats.
Oats are good. I wouldn't eat that kind of oats very often. Those are rolled oats, or maybe they're quick oats, but oat groats, I think steel-cut oats are right next to it.
Wouldn't want to start the day with a breakfast that's tasty, filling, and nutritious.
Today we're kicking off breakfast with heart-healthy Quaker oats.
Yeah, no, that's actually not the best form of oats. You can eat it, but it has the highest glycemic index, right? Quick oats. So I would actually go for rolled oats, which are pretty quick. If you have some more time, steel-cut oats. And if you have even a little bit more time, oat groats, right? So I would rather eat oat groats. It has the lowest glycemic index.
Good call.
Good call.
Real good call.
While there are many ways to enjoy oats, the most common and convenient has to be oatmeal. You can enhance the positive health effects of oatmeal by adding things like blueberries. What do oats offer? Well, you might already know that they're a great source of fiber. But did you also know that they have ample amounts of magnesium, zinc, and protein? Don't care for oatmeal?
Don't put that syrup, like whether it's honey, agave, maple syrup, it's all sugar, right? Like that would just add inflammation to your system and train your palate to seek more and more sugar. Instead, what I would do is if I wanted something sweet, then I would actually cook the oatmeal with some dried fruit. Dried fruit will suck up some of the water, and then the fruit will also leach out some of the sugar, right? So that would actually be the quickest way to cook it. If you could do it with fresh too, but fresh may not be as sweet. So, dried dates, for example, would be very sweet. And if you cooked it together, you wouldn't need that sugar and you would be eating a whole food.
You can add oats to smoothies, yogurt, or even find ways to incorporate them into your dinner recipes.
While you can't go wrong with a basic bowl of creamy oatmeal, you can also jazz it up with a variety of sweet and savory flavor combinations.
To help your body and brain gain with grain, use oats. Number 4, garlic.
Oh, yes, garlic. My dad used to bring garlic to every restaurant. They never, ever gave him enough garlic. And, he would always ask, and they would maybe give him 1 or 2 cloves. And then he would have a bunch in his pocket that he would take off. So always embarrassing. But even though he sent me to school with ginger, I got lots of colds and my dad never got any colds.
Maybe it's not the best thing to eat before a date, but garlic has a lot going for it in terms of nutrition. This pungent plant is touted for its use in fighting ailments like the common cold.
Garlic is like a superfood that prevents almost everything.
But if you ate that, like that bowl of noodles, you'd be counteracting the superpower of the garlic.
So not only does this taste fantastic, it's just really, really good for you, body, mind.
No, pasta is processed food, right? So if you're going to eat that, I would say don't eat refined pasta. Try to find a whole grain pasta, like a whole wheat pasta. And if you can, buy a bean pasta, right? That's even better.
Mind and spirit.
It may also help to lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels, as well as reduce inflammation. And it's hard to think of a savory recipe that isn't improved with a little garlic. We love to add it to our pasta or mix it in with a stir fry. You can also reportedly reap more of its benefits if you eat it raw.
That's not eating raw though. That's deep frying garlic. It's like, I'm not sure you're going to retain any benefit when you deep fry garlic.
You enjoy your garlic? Make sure you brush your teeth afterwards. Number 3, wild salmon. We specifically mention wild salmon because while you can buy farm-raised salmon, wild-caught is much more nutritionally beneficial.
What are you doing? Only selling the finest farm-raised salmon in the county, that's all.
Yeah, they're all free-range. No nets, no cages. They can go wherever they want.
Plus, we have smoked salmon.
Farmed salmon is raised on a different diet, leading to more fat and less calcium and iron.
Actually, the problem with farmed salmon is that they also harbor more toxins, right? Because they have more fats. These toxins actually go in the fat. So they taste better in a sense that it's softer meat. But the reason why I would stay away from farm salmon is because it has more higher industrial pollutants.
Wild salmon gives you protein, potassium, and selenium in great quantities. It also gives you omega-3 fatty acids, which are a must for any healthy diet.
Now, omega-3 fatty acids are actually essential, so that I'm always looking for foods with omega-3 fatty acids. So I eat a lot of walnuts and nami beans, lots of different flax seeds. They have high amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. But when you eat high amounts of omega-6 fats, then that can compete and inhibit your body from converting the omega-3, which is called ALA in plants, into like beneficial omega-3s like DHA and EPA. And so you have to be careful not to eat then a whole bunch of like seed oils and chicken or pork, because those are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. And we just eat too much omega-6 fatty acids. It's like, I think the ratio is like 30-1, right? People are eating 30-1 omega-6s to omega-3s. It's just way too unbalanced. And that's part of the health struggles that people are having.
These are great for your mental as well as physical health. And research indicates that they may help to prevent Alzheimer's disease.
Pan-searing the salmon like that really seals in the juices, so every bite is so juicy and flaky.
Salmon can be cooked in a variety of ways, including grilled on the stovetop and baked in the oven. There's nothing fishy about this food. Number 2, avocados.
Okay, avocados are one of my favorite foods to eat. I remember my mom ate our very first avocado, or her very first avocado, in front of me, and she just opened it up and scooped it with a spoon. And I sat there watching her and asked her, are you sure that's edible? And I wouldn't try it. And this was, I think I was like 4 years old. And I just remember that vividly. My mom was always an adventurous person. And where we were from, we've never seen an avocado, but she loved trying new foods.
Another great source of omega-3 fatty acids is avocados. These creamy fruits are full of beneficial fats that help keep you healthy and looking good. They also have high fiber content and lots of vitamin K, which is important for keeping your bones strong. You can use avocado in all sorts of ways, from as a burger topping to in a salad or avocado toast for breakfast. There's even avocado ice cream if you're looking for a healthy sweet treat.
This avocado ice cream is so absolutely delicious. It's super creamy.
And of course, what party is not improved by guacamole? When it comes to healthy foods, we'll always advocate for avocados.
Yeah, my favorite way to eat avocado is on top of my salad, my green salad, so that I don't have to add extra dressing, because the avocado itself is just so creamy. It is delicious.
Number 1, broccoli.
Okay, broccoli is excellent, but honestly, I would put kale number 1 instead of broccoli, but I would eat that.
When you think of healthy foods, broccoli might be the first thing that comes to mind. Part of the cruciferous vegetable family and resembling a miniature tree, broccoli packs a myriad of nutrition into every bite.
Give that a nice toss. And that's how you make a really quick, easy, flavorful side dish.
It has loads of fiber, lots of vitamin C for a good immune system, and important antioxidants. There are many reasons to bring more broccoli into your diet, as research indicates that it can help with pregnancy and cancer prevention.
Pregnancy prevention? I've never heard of that. I'd have to look that up.
With all kinds of dishes, such as on the side with chicken or salmon, or as part of a stir fry.
The broccoli tastes so good with the roasted.
Yeah, like black broccoli is not my idea of a health food.
Roasted lemon and garlic. Even people who don't like broccoli will love this recipe.
We recommend steaming it, or for the best results, eating it raw.
No, actually, I prefer steaming, and you steam it just enough so that it turns a brilliant green. And you want to do this. You want to pre-chop it for at least, if you can, 30 minutes or even longer, to allow the myrosinase, in a sense, ferment the glucoraphanins into sulforaphanes. Right? You want that enzyme conversion so that you can get the glucoraphanins. Because once you cook it, you actually kill the myrosinase, And then you don't have this conversion, and the body doesn't convert it well. And the sulforaphane is really the molecule that we need to get that is the antioxidant to help with the glutathione redox system. So mincing it would be great. If you have time to pre-do that, that would be better. But here's a trick. If you don't have time, you can just throw in a pinch of mustard seed powder, and that has myrosinase. This is after you cook it, so that you can convert your glucoraphanins into sulforaphanes if you don't have time to pre-chop it and let it sit.
It's simply broccoli rocks.
Do you agree with our picks?
So I agree with most of these foods. I wouldn't agree with how they cooked it, but I have to say that most of their choices are actually pretty good. But if you want to know my choices, watch the next video.